Well, hello. Welcome to the most exciting week of your entire life. For the next 5 days, we will be talking about the three top breakthroughs that you need as a businesswoman if you want to have wild, bold, inevitable success. Super awesome. We're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about the $500,000 business that is sitting right in the palm of your hands that you might not even be able to see. If you have questions, I want you to be able to say hello, add your questions, all the good things. Show up. Make sure if you have your worksheet, if you don't have your worksheet, it's fine. Get yourself a piece of paper. You're going to want to take notes. And let me tell you what we're going to be talking about today. I'll go over quickly what we're going to be talking about all week. So today we're going to be talking about the top 10 mistakes business owners make and what to do instead. Like, stop doing these things and do this instead. So most of you are incredible professionals, right? Great at your service. But when it comes to business building, growing, and scaling, you fall short. But here's the best news. It's all learnable. I didn't pop out of the womb knowing how to make $1 million. It's all learnable. So I want you to ask yourself right now, do I know how to learn things? Answer the question, right? The answer is probably yes. You're probably, if you're in my world and listening to me right now, you're probably highly educated. You probably have multiple degrees. You're probably well-versed in all things that focus on your service that you deliver. You probably read a lot. You're just a smart person. It's just part of your identity. Learning business is the same thing. So session number 2, what we're going to be talking about is, and this is going to be so juicy good, client attraction and a marketing breakthrough. I'm going to teach you the proven system that I use to master your marketing message with ease. So sometimes what happens is you get caught up and you're like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's not that I want to offer to you that it's not that you don't know what to say. It's just you don't know how to say it in a way that resonates so that your best clients can hear you. It's kind of like a siren song. Like you're singing and you want your best client to be like, oh my God, there's what I've been waiting to hear. So this is simple. If you get stuck with your marketing or client attraction, it's really because you're overthinking it. I promise you it's what you're overthinking right now. I bet you if you learned this simple system, you could just pick up a microphone and talk anywhere. Day number 3 or lesson number 3, we're going to talk about high ticket offers and pricing breakthrough. I'm going to teach you the formula that I've been using literally for years, not just this business, which I've had for nearly 10 years, which is a massive milestone for any company. Yay. I'm going to teach you, I've been an entrepreneur for decades. So I'm going to teach you this fundamental, required way of looking at your pricing that will eliminate all objections. So if you're somebody who's worried about, oh my God, what are they going to say? This is the solution to have your best clients say yes to your method. That helps them overcome their bleeding neck problem. Day number 4, we're going to have a simple systems breakthrough. Look, repeat after me. Simple sells, fancy fails. So working harder, which I know that we've all been given that badge of honor. Yay, I'm so crazy busy. I'm working so very hard. I understand. I get it. We are indoctrinated to be hard workers. Who can feel that, right? Yes. So the reality is that's not what it takes to be successful. Having systems so that you don't have to think so hard all the time and you can eliminate wasting times. And number 5 is really embracing your God-given abundance. Your money mindset and your deserve level will be the difference between how much money, making $500,000 a year or more, or making paltry nothing. I'm pausing for dramatic effect because that's the truth. How you're conditioned around money and showing up and working. That, my friends, is the differentiator between those of us who have busted through our inner money bullshit story and now can receive abundance, can think about there's more than enough money in the world for all of us. We have been conditioned to dummy down, to let the man make the money, all the things. So this is for you if you are a perfectionist, if you procrastinate and you think, what's wrong with me? I'm going to work on you on day 5. I'm going to work on you. I'm going to help you get through this. Sound good? Now, some of you are new to me. Hi, how are you? I'm Mary Bicknell. I am a mindset and success and business strategist for professional service providers. So whether you're a coach, you're a clinician, you're a holistic practitioner, you're an attorney, you are the face of your business. You are well educated and you've hit a wall in your income. You've hit a ceiling on how much you're going to charge. You've hit this stuckness, this plateau, because legit, you don't have any more hours in the day. And although we're going to talk about increasing your income and charging more, it's still not a scalable, leveraged business. And that's what's required if you want to have that freedom that you say that you want, right? We all got into business because we don't want to work for anybody. I've told the story numerous times of Cliff Anderson, who would come in every Tuesday with after lunch with some kind of taco sauce on his shirt. He was in charge of my financial future and when I could go to the bathroom. You became your own business woman because you want to have freedom. And you probably have success. So if you're here, you probably have some level of success, but it just isn't looking like success anymore. It's just not feeling like success anymore because you've hit this wall, you've hit this plateau, you're stuck, and you can't figure out how to make more money without working more. In fact, you want to make more money with working less. That's what I know I can help you with, period. Today, we're going to talk about what are some of the mistakes. What are some of the mistakes? Because here's the truth. Sometimes you've been a grinder, you've ground it out, right? And you've hit a certain level. And then you're looking around like, what? And you don't take the time to evaluate what mistakes you might be making. And you know why you're not? It's because you're paying the bills and you've got a client. So now you've got this big ass client roster, maybe with people that you dread looking at every day. And you've not determined how to get yourself out of this. And you don't want to burn it to the ground. And I don't want you to burn it to the ground. A lot of times my clients, they come to me because they want to transition into a different business model, into a different offer, into a different way of helping people. And the issue becomes then they want to burn everything down. I want to offer to you to pause for a second. You don't have to necessarily burn things down. You just have to do them better. I'm not saying don't transition or don't pivot or don't add on. What I'm saying is, you might want to burn it down because you haven't mastered the skills that we're going to be talking about today and over the next 4 or 5 days. Okay. Who can relate to that? I'm going to look and make sure. I know we're live in our group, but I'm still popping over there just to be like, hello. So if you're in that group and I can see you watching, put a comment down below or wherever you are seeing this so that you can say, hey, Mary. Hey, Mary. Just say, hey, Mary. I can see you. Hello. Great. I can see you. All right, here we go. You have your worksheet. Let's do this thing. Good. Okay, making sure. All right, here we go. The first, now these are in no particular order, right? I know it's not like, oh, what's the number one? There's multiple mistakes. Actually, number 10, I'm going to tell you, pay attention. Number 10 is your most important mistake to rectify, to fix. Number 10. So stick around. We're going to talk. I'm going to go through the mistakes first, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to help you and tell you and give you my advice that I've been giving for years to business women. I have helped over 23,000 people that have come into my community, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients in my group programs, buying courses, one-on-one, in my mastermind. I've done everything online and offline. I've spoken in front of my largest audience to date was 750 people in person, eyeballs. I have a YouTube channel, thousands of people listening to my podcast, like all of the things, friends. And I'm telling you the truth. There's no secret here. Business development is the easiest part of it. Your brain and your muckety-mucky thinking is the biggest problem. So I'm going to start with number 1. One of the biggest mistakes that I see that clients make when they come to me, and they usually come to me like, Mary, I'm tired. I'm worn out. I make good money, but it's not great money. And I feel like I'm at an age and a station in my life that I should freaking be making like awesome money, and they're looking around at all the people that are doing quote, quote, something similar to them who are making more money. Why is that? We're going to talk about that over the next 5 days. These breakthroughs are the money. If you apply what I'm teaching you over the next 5 days, your entire life and business will transform. And then, of course, I'm going to invite you to work with me. We're going to talk about a mastermind. We're going to talk about working one-on-one. Of course, I'm showing you. So this is marketing. I am showing you. I am giving you value. I always tell my clients, be a client, but be a student of what I'm doing. You feel my certainty because I've been doing this for years, right? 10 years is my business in October. Tons of client successes. I know you have that too, my friends. I know you have that too. Okay, mistake number 1, poor boundaries. You have poor boundaries and you're not taking 100% control of your calendar. Number 2, you worry way the hell too much about what other people think. And you forget, you're not at an age maybe even where you realize people aren't even thinking about you. They think about you for while they're in front of you. And then you don't think about me when I'm not right in front of your face or right popping up in your email or your feed, or I see you in person, I'm slapping your hand and shaking, hey. You're worried too much about what other people think. And they're not paying your bills. They're not sleeping in your bed. They're not paying your child's college. Stop worrying about them. They're never going to be your clients anyhow. This is what I've learned. People who are bitching about whatever or what you perceive as them judging you, they will never be your client anyhow. It doesn't matter. Mistake number 3, you have designed a plan, or you've not learned to trust yourself enough right now that somebody else has given you the plan for life, or you've hired somebody. Maybe you've hired a coach or a mentor, and they've given you like an idea of what, quote, you should do. And you haven't stopped long enough to see whether that is resonating with you. I've done that too. I've listened to a coach and I've tried it and I'm like, I don't even want to do what the hell they're telling me to do, right? This is why it's not cookie cutter when we work together. Number 4, you give up too soon on everything. This is one of the things that I think drives me crazy the most. You give up before you actually get traction. Now, I understand the reason why. Because maybe you're working full time. Maybe you already have a full slate, or maybe you've tried some things. But the problem is you get on in your Facebook feed or wherever you're looking at stuff, and they're just inundating you with the next best idea. The next best thing. I'm going to tell you right now what the next best thing is. The next best thing for business development is doing the timeless business development that is good offline and online. And it might not be that shiny squirrel thing, but it's timeless. So if you are somebody that's watching and you want a predictable, dependable, profitable, sustainable business like I've had for nearly 10 years, bought 2 houses, 7 figures, $3 million house here, $1 million other house. If you want something like that, you can't give up so soon. You have to focus. Number 5, fail to be your real self and say the hard things. Like if you're like, look, I know that if you're here, I had somebody the other day actually say to me, oh, you're being pushy. And I was like, I'm not being pushy. I'm being direct. I am willing to say the hard things to you, my friends, so that you don't waste any more time. No more wasting time. I would rather tell you something that might be hard to hear than to dance around and it's months later until you finally get to it. No, we're not doing that. You know, my brand being bold. Bold, again, is an acronym. Brave, outgoing leader, deciding to go for what the hell you want unapologetically. Deciding, do you want to work 3 days? Deciding, do you want to have $1 million? Do you want $1 million? Do you want $100,000 and work 1 day a week? Like, what do you want? The number becomes irrelevant. It's the decision. So failing to be your real self and saying the hard things. Most of us don't do that. Number 6, way undercharging. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about pricing and getting the right price for your right client and doing it the right way. It's a formula. It's not challenging. Just plug it in, understand how to charge, and feel confident with your charging. And that's what we're going to be doing this week, because I have a total formula that is timeless. It's going to take care of it. So if you are somebody right now who's undercharging, let me give you an example. Recently, I put out an email that said, my husband and I, John, so we've been married 18 years this year, and our very first date was June 6th. This year, 2023, will be 19 years, and we are like still very way into each other. And anyhow, every now and again, we get a little tune up. We'll go to so we cross what we're saying. We speak differently. So we went to see this awesome marital therapist, and just to be like, how are we skipping? How are we doing the same dance? Because we're humans, and this is what humans do, right? Whether you're a coach, clinician, people are people. Anyhow, long story short, my therapist, brilliant man, is retiring, and he's been charging the same money for years. He's far undercharging. We're his best clients. We would pay double. One of my other clients said to me the other day that she was like indoctrinated in her industry, that whatever a client comes in at, whatever the rate, that's like the rate for life. And I'm like, oh, hell no. No, that's not right. We're not doing that. We're doing something that's reciprocal. Okay. Number 7, lack of systems so that you can get your time back. That is a huge, huge mistake. Jumping from mentor to mentor. Like, this kind of goes back to implementing what other people say or asking what your family says, number 3, etc. Number 9, you don't give yourself time to think and mine your own mind so that you can have your own back. I want to offer to you that if you're in my world, you're at an age and at an education that you know so much, you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed on where to start or where to expand because you actually know too much. And you haven't mined your own mind. Mind your own mind. I know that's a tongue twister. To simplify things for yourself or for your clients. And number 10, I told you that this was going to be the most important one, is that, and this could be number 1. One of the mistakes I see day in and day out, and the difference between people who have successful businesses, and when I mean successful, I'm not even talking money. I'm talking about feeling successful, feeling proud of themselves, not being exhausted, not being burnt out, not being resentful of the calendar of clients that they dread, not being resentful of underpaying clients, not being resentful that they have to show up and market. Like, marketing is fun when you learn how to do it the right way. Can you tell I'm having fun? Can I have some loves? Yes. So number 10, or really could be number 1, is shifting your identity, friends, into being an actual CEO and not just a worker bee. Okay. Whew. So those are the 10 mistakes. Let's talk about what to do differently so that you can have some real plans. So I want to encourage you to take notes and utilize this as a roadmap for some of the things. I can't give you all of the things. So we're going to be talking, these are some of the mistakes. And then this week, we're going to be talking about 3 different breakthroughs. But with my clients, I like to talk about 7 different breakthroughs. Okay, 7 pillars. And then on Friday, we're going to talk more about the number 1 thing about self-identity. I'm going to give you some of the $1 million mindset work that I do and the work that I give my clients to shift their identity, take ownership of their authority. Okay. So number 1, we talked about your poor boundaries and not taking 100% control of your calendar. So I want to give you something tactical in addition to really helping you think this through. So tactically, I want to encourage you over the next week while we're together, is start documenting what you're doing every hour. I want to offer to you that you're wasting time. You're wasting time literally doing non-money making activities. Write them down. I will challenge you to show up on Saturday. I'm going to do a bonus call this Saturday. I want to challenge you. I'm going to go through with you, for you, and help you figure out what you're wasting your time on and how you can eliminate it. So over the next week, every hour, yes, even at night, write down, what are you doing? Are you scrolling? Are you talking to people? Are you delivering your services to your clients? Are you over delivering? Are you working when you don't want to? Someone said to me, my client the other day, she's like, well, I feel like I have to take a 6 o'clock call. And I'm like, do you want to work at 6 o'clock at night? No, but I feel like I have to. I was like, why do you have to? Well, that's the only time those people can see me. And I thought, that's a lie that you're telling yourself. Mind you, this particular client is not a brain surgeon. So it's not like, well, the only time they can get their brain operated on is 6 o'clock at night when I would rather have dinner with my spouse. You need to take 100% control of your calendar and have very tight boundaries, which also includes somebody doesn't show up, you charge them. Now, in coaching and consulting, I teach my clients to get paid on the front end, a retainer, a deposit. But having poor boundaries means not getting that you aren't getting paid, that you're saying yes when you need to say no, that you take on the wrong client, that you see clients when you don't want to and not according to the schedule that you want to build, the lifestyle that you want to build. See, I want to help you craft a lifestyle that you want and build a business to fund that lifestyle. Build a business to give you the free time that you want. It's 1000% possible. Period. If you think it isn't possible, you're going to manifest it isn't possible. But it is 100% possible. Here's a mantra that I live by, and I teach this to my clients, and I will tell you, I'm going to be candid, that at first they have a really hard time with this. And why? Because we're all generous and loving. But I have a policy in my business that if I can't do it for 100 people, I'm not going to do it for one. Let me say that again. My boundaries are so tight now. Granted, in the beginning, of course, we all were wishy-washy with boundaries. But one of my policies in my company and one of my policies that I implore my clients to abide by in their own businesses is the saying, if I can't do it for 100, I'm not going to do it for one. Now, there's always pushback. I'm not saying that if something catastrophic happens, that you're not going to make an adjustment with your client because you're in a relationship with your best clients. You want to. However, if you had 100 best clients who decided, oh, I can't show up today, it's not feasible. And when you have poor boundaries, you're actually not doing yourself any good, your family any good, or all your other clients. Recently, this happened with one of my clients, that she's stepping into the CEO, stepping into establishing boundaries. And she had to increase her rate around no-shows. And she actually made it 48 hours and increased the rate. It was hard for her. And she's like, I feel bad. And I'm like, why are you feeling bad? You are a business owner. So examine your boundaries, my friends. Number 2, and this goes right into it, worrying too much about what others think. A lot of times we don't implement our boundaries because we worry about what other people think. We worry that our clients are going to be like, I can't believe that Mary McNell isn't just letting me show up whenever I feel like it. Do you know any business like that? Does your lawyer do that? Does your doctor do that? Is your chiropractor doing that? Can you just show up whenever? Can you just? No, you cannot. And that is not, this is the bottom line. That is not saying that your family is a priority. So I want to help you always put your family first. Now, I want to help you have the best clients in the world. My job with you is to remind you that you're in business for yourself and your families first, no matter how much you want to change the world and make a difference in the world. So I want to remind you that when you have poor boundaries, you're not as an effective mom. You're not as an effective lover and wife. And I want to dare say that you're not as an effective with all your other clients. You know this is true. I just speak the truth. When you wiggle on your boundaries and you worry, oh, I can't charge people more money if they decide that they don't want to show up at their scheduled time, even though I'm out that money, I can't charge. It doesn't even make any sense. You're saying I'm okay with Sally Jane canceling and taking food off my dinner table. That's really what you're saying. You're saying it's okay for my client to cancel on me and me not charge them because it's wrong for me to charge them, even though I am a business. And then I feel upset when I go talk to my kids or my husband. Does anything work like that? No. So when we worry too much, what other thing? Here's another place that other people worry about. Fear of success is one of the number one things that my clients experience. Why is that? Because they have this big giant within. They're go-getters, right? They're ambitious go-getters. And they're surrounded. Look around. They're surrounded by people who are not like that. This is why I'm building the community. This is why I want to talk to you about the mastermind. And we'll talk later in the week about this so that you can have a community, that you can be as successful and high five. Because what happens is, even though you have success, it's a change of your status. People will be like, who does she think she is? So a client said to me the other day, oh, my sister-in-law got a new job. And I was like, well, how much money? And they said, wow, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of responsibility. I don't know if she can do it. And I was like, well, how much money are we talking? And she was like, 100 grand. And I'm like, a fucking 100 grand. 100 grand ain't what it used to be. Now we're talking $500,000. This is the $500,000 workshop, friends. Number 3, have a plan based on what other people. You can see that this right now, we're starting with all of this mindset stuff, right? Are you doing what you don't want to do in your business? Now, there's a difference between I don't want to do that and I need to do that right now to build, and eventually I don't have to. Maybe you don't want to speak live. Maybe you don't want to be online. Maybe you want to just totally be in person and network. Maybe you want to get to the point where you could hire a team to do your sales calls. Maybe you like the idea of high ticket. Maybe you want a group program. Maybe you want to have, okay. Do you know? Do you have a plan? So the mistake number 3 is having a plan based on what other people think. What do you want to do, my friends? Have you asked yourself? Even with my clients, there's things that I'm like, well, here's something that you could do, but we want to craft this and customize this for you and your lifestyle and who you are as your personality and your ideal clients. Cookie cutting one size fits all is not true. Number 4, giving up too soon. Okay, so here's the good news. Okay, and what happens is people give up too soon because they don't have an evaluation process. So, and most people don't want to evaluate because then they're criticizing themselves. They're critical. As opposed to when you recognize that every point along your business development is a place to tinker, a place to tweak. So for example, mindset, plan, systems, market, selling, delivering, and your personal self. These are all different things that I work on with clients, and each one of them individually can be tinkered a little bit. And when you recognize that you're probably really great at certain things and need to learn some better skills at other, it removes the bashing of yourself. So instead of giving up too soon, learn to evaluate and make the corrections. Ask yourself right now, how long are you willing to do one thing until you've mastered it? Like really ask yourself, how long are you willing to learn how to sell before you and master it? How long are you willing to do the one thing like marketing and master marketing, or speaking live on stages, or getting better at your sales calls, or getting better at Facebook ads? Like how long are you willing to? Because that's really going to answer the question, are you willing to do what it takes to have a sustainable, profitable, big, bold life in biz so that you can have whatever the hell you want in your life? Who's relating to that? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Oya and Nancy. How are you? It's good to see you. You know, I'm giving it to you today, girls. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth because you all have something to offer your ideal clients and your best clients, your best clients. So again, every piece of the puzzle in business, this is what Because if you're anything like me, sometimes I used to be a little harsh. Like, I can't believe I said it that way. I can't believe I wrote it that way. But when you recognize the valuation process, and here it is. So write it down. Ready? Every day, whatever the situation, it's marketing or it's your sales calls or what have you, ask yourself what went well. And we always want to start that way because we want to train our brain to look for the good, look for the opportunity. Most of us default to like, oh my God, that went terrible, blah, 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 blah. No, what went well and what would I do differently? Now, some of you can write what went well, what didn't go so great. What would you do differently? What went well, what didn't go so great? What did you do differently? Let me give you one example before we move on. So let's say you had a sales call. Okay, well, what went great? So here's some of the things that could have been great about. Like, you could have had, like, you showed up on time, you went through your template. I give my clients the art of the ask, how to enroll clients, how to sell clients. Doesn't matter what you're selling, it's still a process. So you went through your process. Maybe you asked the hard questions, which is number 5, actually, right? What didn't go well? Maybe, you didn't ask, like, is there anybody else that needs to be on this conversation? Or maybe you didn't even tell them your rate or evaluate it. And then what would you do differently? And then implement the what would you do differently. Now, if you work with me, you can always send me your sales calls, your sales presentation, all your marketing, all your emails, all the things, and I will personally review it all. Okay. Number 5, fail to say the hard things and be your real self. So most of us have at one time or another imposter syndrome. So we're not saying what we really think. Let me give you an example. One of my clients has this big contract for this huge franchise doing executive leadership coaching. What she didn't say one day was that she believes one of these other corner office people needs to be involved. She knew it, but she didn't say it. And the reason she didn't say it because she was nervous that they wouldn't like it. And I had to challenge her. What do you think I said? Just pause for a second. What do you think I said? Or what would you have said? So what I said is, when we don't say the hard things, we're not actually being of service to our clients. So she's the expert. Her job is to say what she thinks. People are paying her for her brilliance, for her insight, for her input, for her advice. She's highly specialized. So if she thinks that somebody else could utilize working with her that will be of benefit and an asset to this massive franchise, then that's her job. So of course we crafted something and she went back and she just sent out the email the other day. Remember, being your real self, saying the hard things is what's required, because nobody wants just somebody mealy mouth and not wishy-washy. That's not of service. Number 6, undercharging. So we talked about this, about the reason that most people undercharge is because they have an erroneous fear that there are not enough people out in the world to pay their rates for their services, their product, their program, the whatever thing you are selling, you are delivering. You have this thought that no one's going to pay you more. That is not true. That's a bold-faced non-truth. That's a lie your brain is telling you. There are people doing what you're doing, selling whatever the hell you're selling, making tons more money. The difference between you and them is number 10, the self-identity. We'll get to that. Every single client of mine that has worked with me, and every single one who has implemented our strategy to increase their rate, has successfully made more money and charged more. Every single one. Number 7, lack systems. All right, so here's what I mean by lacking systems to get your time back. So you're not doing what I call MMAs, money-making activities. What are money-making activities? Write these down. Talking to live people, booking sales calls, showing them your wares, whatever your service is, masterfully closing the deal, setting up their first appointment. Like, these are value-driven money-making activities. You know what's not a money-making activity? Fooling around with your website in the middle of the day, shuffling papers, scrolling through whatever social media. Are you Trying to get yourself booked on podcasts, speaking gigs? Are you collaborating with other people who have your ideal audience? Do you have all of that systematized? Now, I can help you. I have all the how-tos and all the ways to put this into a system. Here's the truth. When you have systems, you get tons of time back. Because, for example, for me, I have a system where I batch content in like a couple hours and it's done for like a month. Imagine having things done for a month and all you did is spend a couple hours putting it together. I have a system and a formula for you to be able to do that. Having a system to onboard your clients, or is every single one no and you a system for delivering your services, a system to market, a system to follow through with your plan. You already have systems in your life. So I want you to think about right now, everything that you're doing over the next week of us working together in this free workshop for you. So number one of your assignments was track your time. Number 2 is how many things are you doing that are repetitive that could actually be systematized? Number 8 mistake, jumping from mentor to mentor to mentor. Here's an example. Oftentimes people will, they'll hire somebody, whether it's like me or somebody else, and they don't stay with that person long enough to master a topic that that coach is teaching. So then they leave and they have to start all over. It's the same with you. I'm sure that you have clients that you're like, oh my God, they're like right there on the edge of like, and this is part of the problem. When you're in a relationship, your goal is to go deeper with your clients. Your goal is to see what's the next step for your clients that you can help them, because they've already are in relationship with you. They're already aware of your process, your philosophies. I want to encourage you to think about client retention. And I want you to think about it for yourself, whether it's me or somebody else, like really go deep with your mentors or your coaches. Number 9, don't give themselves time to think. I want to encourage you over the next week, as I said, look at your calendar. Where do you have free time to think as the CEO and the business owner? Where are you making decisions from your goals? I like to teach people a 2 to 3 year goal process. Where are you thinking from your goals so that you can eliminate scurrying around, worrying, frenetically doing things at the last moment, undercharging, over-delivering, overwhelm, burning out, overdoing? If you don't have time on your calendar to embody, and this is number 10, shifting into being the CEO of your business and not the worker bee, not the frenetic, overdoing, over-delivering, over-worrying, scurrying, frantically doing all the things. Shifting your identity into CEO. Being the woman who does the work with calm, peace, so that you can have the big, bold life and biz that you want, so that you can have that $500,000 or the 100 grand working 1 day a week or whatever it is for you. The number becomes irrelevant. There's no one that can give this to you but you. I can help walk you. I can give you all the tools. Your job is to implement them. Successful people, what we do, here's the key. We do what the hell people, the majority of the world, will never do. Those of us who have a CEO identity, we will follow through and make it happen, period. Now, my goal to help you is so that you do it in a systematized methodology so that you're not frying, burning out, getting underpaid, getting overwhelmed, overworked, etc. Saying that I've had my business nearly 10 years and like I am the calmest I've ever been in my business. Now you can hear my enthusiasm, my certainty, all the things. But building a sustainable, profitable, predictable business gives you such calm and knowing and confidence and feeling, I feel proud of myself. all the mistakes that I just shared with you are some of my biggest mistakes, and some of the mistakes that I see while people are jumping and soaring off of a plateau, busting through that wall, crashing through their income ceilings. This is what's required. So I want to encourage you over the next couple of days to reach out to me, share your homework with me. Here it is again. Write down every hour, what are you doing for the next week? Share it with me on Saturday when we chat, or email me, because some of you might not be able to participate. Number 2 is what systems are you working on? How can you systematize some of it? And number 3 is, where can you carve out an hour a week just to embody the CEO? Now, make sure you get your worksheet for tomorrow. We'll upload that at 10 a.m. inside of our Facebook group. Tomorrow, we are going to be talking about client attraction in marketing. You showing up, being the brilliant woman that you are. Whatever questions you have, you can post them below. You can send me a direct message and I will answer them. Does anybody have any other comments right now? Hi. Any other comments? I see you on here. Make sure you let me know, what are some of the things that you want to make sure that I cover? I'm sure that they're already built into this workshop. I can see you. Hello. Good to see you. All right. Until tomorrow, go track your time. I'll see you soon. Bye.